Hi, this is Moby. Welcome to the Fire Show. Hello. Welcome to number 5 on the Fire Show. Dun, dun, dun. I suck at audio effects. Anyway, first off, we won an award. Woohoo! Woo! Woo! Shout out to American Inno and Brent Wilson from Austin Inno for the InnoPix Award in Austin's 50 on Fire. Ha! On Fire. Fire Show. Get it? Ha. Ha. That was a joke. My jokes are terrible. Anyway, what are we talking about today? Working with people. Regardless of who we are, what we do, we can't not work with people. And it can be very difficult, especially when you're building something like a business, which is such a big part of who you are, and you're allowing other people in your life, in your business, and turning ideas into reality. How do we make sure that we treat our partners well? How do we make sure our partners get their shit done? How do we not go crazy? To get some answers, today, I'm sharing with you a conversation I had with Mokshika Sharma, serial entrepreneur who at that time had just got off a panel at 3-Day Startup Global Roundup, talking about her experiences working with 3 co-founders. 3! Woo! Wow. At that time, Mokshika was working on Full Fridge, and since that conversation, the team has made the difficult but right decision to shut down operations. They had bootstrapped for about a year and a half and become a well-known brand in Austin. But food startups are capital intensive to get to a scaling phase, and funding could not be secured. I can only guess what went through Mokshika's and everyone's mind when they made that decision and the process of all of that. But, since I have a mic, I can pretty much ask people. So we will have her on the show again talking about how to look at your business in a way and know whether it's the right time to shut down or keep going. If our schedules sync up, hey, it might even be next week. Bam. All right, I've talked a lot. Enjoy. Hello.
Hello.
How are you
it going?
today?
Good.
What is your company? What is Full Fridge?
Yes. So Full Fridge, we provide you breakfast, lunch, and dinner for 5 days for $5 a meal. It's fully prepared and it gets delivered to your doorstep. All your food for the week already there. And what we want to bring to people is this feeling of mom and grandma cooking a whole bunch of food, leaving it in your fridge. And so when you open your fridge, you have a full fridge.
It's like, so a lot of my friends who moved here, they followed the auntie model.
Yes.
Where they would have someone cook and then send them food. Is that what it's similar to?
That's exactly what it is. And, when I went to college, my mom would always give me a whole bunch of food, a travel pack. And it's very reminiscent of that. Now we're getting busier and busier. So even meal kits aren't enough for us. So we just fully prepare it for you.
Well, that's wonderful.
Yeah.
Thank you, first of all, for doing a workshop at Global Roundup. You just mentioned that you have 4 co-founders. How would someone approach splitting equity if they're working on a team on some idea?
Splitting equity is always a very touchy subject because people get very defensive as to who's doing more in the company, who's more valuable in the company. The approach that I've always taken with my co-founders and we feel works the best is an equal equity split. Just mostly because it really proves how confident we are that the company will move forward and how confident we are that it'll move forward with the 4 of us, right? Each one of us has a role in the company that the company could not go forward without one of them, right? And especially, for example, 2 of us are engineers, so we have no idea how how to make food, more or less make food 1,500 meals at a time. And then on the other side, we provide a lot of business and engineering expertise that takes this, it's a meal delivery service outside of just providing food and bring it into the technological world.
So to summarize that, understanding what your team is good at and what your business needs and not being an asshole about it and actually giving them what they deserve?
Not being an asshole is great. And
I've heard.
I think it's a work in progress. You have to make sure at the very beginning you have trust on all sides. And that's something that every team, no matter if it's 4 co-founders, if it's 2 co-founders, whatever the case may be, it needs to be a trust factor on all sides, right? Because there's going to be meetings that some of the co-founders don't go to, and you have to be okay with them dealing with it and coming back to you and giving you the report, right? And that's the biggest thing, that trust factor.
So what about the actual legal framework? You say, oh, I have 2 co-founders and I need to go to, I just find a lawyer, and what do I do?
Yeah, so in this panel, somebody gave a really great advice is find a law firm. The reason why finding a law firm is so important rather than just a one-off lawyer is because they will provide you more expertise than just, putting together paperwork and here you go, sayonara, It's a full team that's working with you and towards your success as a company. But also, if one of the lawyers, the lawyer that's representing you ends up leaving the firm, you still have the firm backing and you still have your paperwork intact. And you know that whatever paperwork comes out of that law firm is going to be ironclad. And that is the most important thing to making sure that you get a successful company is if you have ironclad paperwork.
Shifting gears and talking about the actual work, how would you make sure people get their shit done?
Oh, man.
And how does vesting come into that? Can you explain vesting?
Yeah, so let me explain vesting first of all. So what vesting is essentially, it is a security blanket for the company. Essentially what happens a lot of times was, a group of 2 or 3 friends will get together and say, let's create a company. All right, great. The thing is, you're friends at that moment, and you may not be friends later on. So what vesting does is it allows you to test the waters, and it essentially means that right now I'm telling you that we're going to split 50-50. All right. The thing is you don't get all the 50% until your, quote, vesting schedule gets complete.
Until I've earned it, right? Until I've been at the company.
Exactly. And what's very natural is that you get all your equity within 4 years. So it's a 4-year vesting schedule. That's what that means. And what's also very normal is that you have a 1-year cliff, meaning that you have to wait at least 1 year before you get any of your stocks.
Oh, good.
And then at that point, you'll get 25% of your stocks. And then starting from that moment, every month afterwards, you'll start getting more and more of your stocks. And it's about that earning that you haven't been kicked out of the company, that you haven't, that something hasn't gone wrong with the team. So that allows the company to have enough of a testing period, 1 year is a long time, that you've earned the trust of the team. But more than that, it allows you to also gradually build up the equity pool.
And that's important because you don't want
dead weight.
You don't want dead weight.
Yes.
We also had Cam from Bellhop on the show, and one of the things he talked about, his slide was, in his keynote was, if someone's killing your traction or startup, kill them.
Yes.
Cut them off. Sometimes you got to cut them off, and that's important.
Don't kill them, but
Don't kill them.
We do not. We do not support that.
Yes, this show is not about that. Cool.
Yes. No, and that is very, very true because the worst thing that can happen to your company is negative energy. And not to say that you have to be positive 100% of the time, because that's just not going to happen. And you're going to have downfalls. You're going to have sad moments. You're going to have moments where you think that it's not going to continue or you don't want to continue. That's where, a really strong team helps, because they can help you get back up. But if it's a continuous scenario where a person walks in and is always negative towards ideas, or, and this is for any team, not just for startups, but especially for startups, because you're so young, you're so little, and you already have so much, you have so much self-doubt, and you already are getting negatives from externals. If your internals aren't strong and positive 60% of the time, then you want to get rid of that negative energy, because it's not going to last. The company won't last if you have that.
Thank you so much
Yeah.
for doing this.
Appreciate it. Thank you so much for inviting me.
I shake everyone's hand on the Freaky Show.